let's talk about college this week on Project Freelance. I want to just talk about school. I feel like talking about school. I think midterms are coming up. I don't really know, but let's get into it. This is Project Freelance. I'm your host, Kay Nagonio. This is the podcast for up-and-coming freelancers, whether you are a graphic designer, filmmaker, photographer, or if you do anything else that falls under the self-employed category, or if you want to do anything that falls under that category. This is the podcast for you. This is Project Freelance. Before we get started today, I need you to do me a tiny favor. Please go over to Twitter. Go to @NASA. Yes, that is correct. @NASA. And read along with me. My cat is meowing at me to throw a zip tie for him, so you'll have to excuse me for one moment. Phantom, do you want this? Go get it. Okay. @NASA, we're opening our doors for social media users to come behind the scenes for the next @SpaceX cargo launch to the International Space Station, currently targeted for late April. Apply to attend this #NASA social event at NASA Kennedy. Listen, could you do me a favor? I need you to go tweet NASA and tag me and tell them that I need to film behind the scenes for them, because my name is Kay behind the scenes in Agonio. Behind the scenes is what I do, man. If I can go to this, okay, so I submitted an application, obviously, and a huge thank you to Skylar on Twitter for tagging me in this post. Without you, Skylar, I might not have seen this when I did. I also made an application video that goes along with my application, so if you want to see that video, I've linked it down below. Check it out. Tweet it to NASA. And hopefully you will see a behind the scenes of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Oh my God, imagine. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get into this show. Welcome to Project Freelance. I ask you for favors sometimes. So I wanted to talk about school today. I studied, I don't know if you guys have been listening to the podcast for a while. I mean, this is episode 62, I believe. 61 or 62. So we're well over a year in on this podcast of weekly uploads, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. We are up to 38 ratings. Thank you so much for all of your ratings. Most of them are 5 stars. We got a couple 1 stars, but I think it might have been either an accident or just my exes. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think my exes would do something like that. It's a little ridiculous and petty if you ask me. But thank you guys for the ratings. I appreciate it. If you do like this podcast, please leave me a rating so that we can reach more creators like you. So if you have been listening for a while, you may know that I went to school. I studied film production. I have a bachelor's degree in film production. I didn't go to a university because I didn't want to have to take math and science and things like that. I just wanted to focus on what I wanted to study. I didn't want to have to do 4 years of, regular classes that you have to take before you get to actually start studying what you want to study. I mean, wasn't high school supposed to be for us to figure out all that other shit? And college or university is supposed to be where you focus on what you want to study? Why are we still taking math and science if I'm studying English? I don't know. I don't understand it. I never really understood it. I just feel like it's another way to keep taking our money. And I don't think it's very fair. That's just me. I feel like we could cut college in half if you just let those students study what they wanted to study. But, I mean, who am I to speak? I'm not on the board of education at any colleges or universities. I'm just here, postgraduate, with a bachelor's degree, trying to tell you guys how to live your lives. So people ask me, should I go to school? Should I study college? Should I go to university to study, film or graphic design? Yes and no. You don't have to, but you can. Here's the thing. College is going to cost you at least 30 grand. I don't know where you're going to school, but I'm going to base everything at 30 grand to go to college. That's a lot of money. You could invest that money into yourself, into starting a business. You could invest that money into so many different things other than spending your time at college, wasting time, not being able to focus on what you want to focus on. Or you can put that money into college and invest in your future. I understand that it's a safeguard for most people. That's kind of how our system is built. You go to high school and then you go to college and then you get a job, and that job is supposed to set you for your entire life. That's supposed to be your entire career job. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work out that way most of the time. A lot of the time people graduate and they can't find a job in the field that they studied. a lot of people have to get a job doing retail or working at a grocery store or at the mall or wherever it is you have to work to make ends meet while you're A, paying your way through college, or B, trying to support your side hustle while studying in college. It's just a lot to tackle. It's a lot to go through. And here's the thing. When I was studying, I didn't have to take the normal curriculars like math and science, like I was saying. All I studied was, marketing, business 101, editing, color correction, pre-production, post-production, script writing, things like this. How to use a green screen, 3-point lighting, things like this. I had a documentary course. I had a silent film course, a short film course, an editing course. I had everything that I took was based around filmmaking. So I wasn't getting distracted by these other things that I didn't want to do that I still had to do just to pass college. I got to focus on what I wanted to do. I got to focus on making movies and writing scripts. And yeah, sure, there were things that I studied that I didn't necessarily really want to study because I didn't think that I was going to be doing a lot of, say, green screen work. I don't do very much green screen work now because I do mostly lifestyle and documentary work, and that's just where my heart lies. And so I am grateful that I studied green screen stuff, but I don't really use it now unless I'm editing. And the knowledge I got from that green screening class, I can now use in my documentary work. I can green screen a phone and I can put something else on the phone really easily. I can green screen windows in real life. I can edit out and key out different things because I learned about keying when I was learning about green screening. So there are practical effects that I can use when it comes to my filmmaking when it came from that green screening class. So I would say that probably 85% of the things that I studied, I use consistently, and I have grown from learning those things, and I'm very, very grateful that I had the opportunity to study film production and only film production, and that I didn't have to take those other classes. And so you would call the school I went to a trade school. I went to the school called SAE Institute. It's the School of Audio Engineering Institute, but they also have games design, animation, music, like sound production, all kinds of stuff that they have at their campuses, and they're all over the world. I was fortunate enough to study in Dubai as well as Perth, Western Australia. So that was really cool in and of itself. Where I got to study was a huge part of, the way I actually studied. I was surrounded by this different culture that was different from my own, that wasn't American culture. So I got to experience different cultures while I was in university without dealing with fraternities and sororities and college parties and that kind of, and dorm living, that kind of stuff. I didn't really want to live in a dorm. I'm more introverted than that. So I'm extremely glad that I didn't have to live on campus. I got to live near school, which was really rad. I had an apartment in Dubai and I loved it. I absolutely loved living there. And it was a tiny apartment, but it was perfect. It was everything I needed just as a place to sleep while I was studying at school. And what I will say is I wish I had made more lasting friendships while I was in college. I was so focused on studying film production and doing my own thing and making documentaries, and I had this forward trajectory already mapped out. Like, I wanted to go to Los Angeles, I wanted to go to Hollywood, I wanted to make it, and I wanted this to be my life. So I didn't have time to make friends and get distracted and do all this other stuff. I was so focused on my schooling and on my music and on my photography that's all that I did all the time, 24/7. I was either making YouTube videos because I had been doing daily videos. I did 1,000 days on YouTube. I was trying to keep up with Charles Trippy of the CTFXC, who is on his 10th year, and he's finally decided that he's going to stop making daily vlogs when his 10th year sums up, on the day that marks his 10th year of daily consecutive vlogging. He's about to have a baby, so he's going to take a step back from daily vlogging, and he's going to do 5 videos a week instead of 7 videos a week. And so when I was daily vlogging, I was trying to keep up with him, and I thought to myself, if he ever stops, I'll be able to, pick up where he left off. And as cool and awesome as an idea as that was, it wasn't going to work for me because I was living a different lifestyle than Charles was living. He was living in this world where he was in a band that was set, that was already making money. He was making money off of that. He started making money off of YouTube, and his channel grew rapidly because people loved what he was doing and that he was part of We the Kings. And so his channel grew and he grew, and it's been awesome to watch him grow his channel. And YouTube has been his main focus for the past decade. And for me, I knew that YouTube wasn't going to be a viable source of income for me just because I could see my analytics and I could see the growth of my channel. And I have a smaller channel. I mean, some people think that, 37,000 subscribers is a ton, but I'm not getting 37,000 views per video. I'm getting a couple hundred views per video, and that's because of the analytics. And that's because I've had this YouTube channel for so very long. I've accumulated all of these subscribers, but most of them don't even watch my YouTube channel anymore, don't even have a YouTube channel themselves to watch my channel. And that kind of reminds me that I did the right thing. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I didn't allow myself to suffer and struggle through this YouTube thing because I don't make a lot of money off of YouTube. I make maybe $50 a month. $50 to $100 a month is how much I'm making on YouTube. We'll be completely honest. I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, and so that's why it's not as much of a focus as it was when I was studying in college, because I had this idea that I could get a Guinness World Record if Charles ever stopped vlogging. But thank God I stopped, because I would have still been daily vlogging, and my life could have been totally different. My career would have been totally different. The opportunities that I have had would not be possible if I was daily vlogging, because a lot of the stuff that I work on now, I can't really talk about until the project's done. So it just makes it a lot harder to daily vlog when you are in situations like that. So while it was fun to daily vlog while I was in school, I'm glad that I no longer do that, and I focus more on the making money aspect of freelancing, because at the end of the day, making money is what's important. Making money is why we go to college. I went to college to learn film production so that I could make money off of making films, off of that film production degree. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past 5 years. And I've loved every minute of it. I've loved every struggle. I learned a lot in film school, but I learned a lot more after film school. And that's going to be the same for most of you guys with college, no matter what your experiences are, whether you go to a trade school like I did, or if you go to a big university like Harvard. You're going to learn things in university, but you're also going to learn way more stuff after you graduate, way after you graduate even. I learned most of the things I know now after I graduated film school, not going to lie. But that's just what practice and trials and going through the motions and working your ass off, that's what happens. You start to learn things. You make a lot of mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. And a lot of those mistakes that I made, nobody could have taught me any differently so that I wouldn't make those mistakes. They were just things that happened. Sure, there were things that I wish I had known. Like, for example, there are a lot of people on the internet that will try to scam you out of money. And if you fall for it, it's really easy to fall for it because these people are extremely sophisticated in what they do. So if you fall for it, you're screwed. I lost like $3,500, and I made an entire podcast episode about this. And I recently caught somebody else scamming people online, and so I kind of followed through with that and caught them red-handed, made a podcast episode about that. And I made a YouTube video about it as well because it's something that happens that I wish somebody had told me. So this is me telling you, if you haven't heard this yet, people will try to scam you out of money on freelancing websites. So be careful, read everything. Don't let anybody send you money without having a contract with them first, or without meeting them in person first. It's extremely important, and that is something that I wasn't taught in film school that getting jobs online, you could get scammed. I didn't learn where to get jobs online. I didn't learn where to get jobs in person. They just kind of showed us, the beginning steps of building your own business, but it wasn't a film production course for freelancers. This was a film production course for anybody that wanted to get into film production. And that includes people that want to work on sets, that want to film Hollywood movies, big blockbusters, things like that. And not all of us are going to go on to do things like that. I've never worked on a big budget film before on set. I mean, I've PA'd on a couple things, but I've never filmed or edited a big budget film. I would love to do that eventually, but that's like a longer process than I'm used to. I don't really do a whole lot of long-term projects like that. And when I say long-term, big production films can take years to make. Years. And I like to create content that I can film and edit quickly and turn around and show that to people as soon as possible, which is why I love being an independent filmmaker, because I can make my own content and I can put it out when I'm ready, whenever I'm ready. I don't have to wait for somebody else to say, okay, yeah, we have to wait until 2 years from now to start even talking about this. I can start talking about things I'm working on now. And that's awesome. So when it comes to should you go to university or not, that's up to you ultimately. And like I said, it's going to cost you a lot of money, whether you go to school or whether you start your own business, period. These things cost money. Life is expensive. Business is very expensive, especially when you are your own business. And here's the thing, when it comes to like taxes, as a freelancer, you don't get a whole lot of money back from your taxes. The government doesn't really want to help you out too much because you're an independent contractor. The government likes to help corporations, and that's pretty much it. So if you're not a corporation, you're not going to get any help when it comes to getting a refund or getting money back on your taxes. So basically, I just like cut that equation out of my life completely. I just expect to have to pay the government, and I never expect to get money back from them because I just know, I know how they are, and I know what they want, and all they want is to take the most money, and they don't want to give you money. They don't feel like they owe you anything, and I don't feel like I owe them anything, but I'm happy to pay my taxes because I know that some of my tax money goes to good things, like fixing the roadways or cleaning up whatever. I don't know, cleaning up parks or the beach, things like that. But basically the gist of this entire podcast is if you want to go to college, go to college. But if you can go to a trade school where you can focus your studies on what you want to learn, like here's the thing. My dad told me you have to get a degree before you do what you want. And I said, okay, but what if I get a degree doing what I want and then continue to do what I want? Does that work? And it did, because I was going to get a degree. I was going to get a bachelor's degree in film production, and that's exactly what I did. And now I'm using that degree. And if I had gone to a university and gotten, I don't know, a media communications degree, I don't know if I would have used that. I don't know if the things I had learned there would have helped me in a film career. I think that I took the perfect course, honestly. I think I did the best. I think my college experience, I did the best that I could, and I got the most out of it that I could, and it definitely set me up for my future. So if you can find a trade school, I would go that route. And that's just me speaking personally. I'm not trying to tell you like you have to do this way is better than this way, because like I said, I never went to university. So I don't know, maybe that experience would have been better. Maybe I could have gotten farther in my career because I could have met other people that were in the industry already, something like that. But I think that I had a great opportunity, and by getting a bachelor's in film production, it kind of made me focus harder on what I wanted to do, because I knew that I only had 3 years to cram 4 years of material in to get a bachelor's, and then I was going to basically kickstart and just go like full steam ahead into film production. No gap years, no stopping. Once I stepped foot on that campus to start my first day of film production course, I knew that my history was going to start writing itself. And I'm really, really happy with where I'm at now, and I can't wait to see where I go in the future. And I want to know from you guys. Follow me on Instagram or on Twitter at Project Freelance, and let me know what you guys are studying, what you have questions about. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to know what you want to know. What do you need to know to become a more successful freelancer? Are there people that you want me to talk to as well? Please let me know about that. I love hearing from you guys. I got an email from somebody, and I'm waiting to hear back from him because I would love to have him on a Skype session with me so that we can talk a little bit about what this individual needs help with as far as becoming a better freelancer himself. And I really hope that it comes to fruition and we can jump on Skype and I can record it and upload it as a podcast for you guys, for you listeners that listen to this podcast, because there's nothing I love more than getting feedback about this stuff from you guys. It makes me realize that this podcast is actually helping people and it's reaching people that need it. So let me hear from you at Project Freelance. Tweet me, Instagram me, whatever you want to do. I will find you. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Let me know where you're studying, or if you're studying. If you have midterms coming up, let me know. I will talk to you guys next week on Project Freelance. Thank you for tuning in. Check out all the links down below if you guys need help with, tracking your mileage, doing adult things, or if you need discounts to Adobe software. If you are trying to get in on the editing game, if you need Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere, After Effects, I can get you guys a discount. There's a link down in the description. Thank you guys. I'll be traveling again here soon, so I'll try to backlog these episodes for you guys so that you have an episode every Monday morning at 7 a.m. PST is when the podcast comes out every Monday. Thank you guys. I will talk to you next week. This has been another episode of Project Freelance.